Hello guys! I am starting this new series on my channel called Feminine Intelligence. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. A lot of you guys have well, I don't want to say a lot of you guys. I feel like there is just so many negative connotations about feminine, the word feminine, divine feminine. I think the whole term has been co-opted in general, and I just think I love the adjective feminine. Like, I just feel like it's something that is worth reclaiming. It's something that means different things to different people. Feminine can mean something very empowering to people, especially if like you're like pride yourself on being a girly girl, you get your hair done, you got your makeup done, like wear new clothes, basically you like all of the girly girl things. I feel like the term feminine, especially in this current social zeitgeist, has been totally co-opted and misaligned, and I definitely think it's worth reclaiming. So that's what I want to do. I want to start this series on my channel for women who do describe themselves as feminine, who do like the term, and you know, maybe even relate to some of the content regarding femininity, divine femininity, all of these things. Femininity means whatever you want it to be, whatever body type that you're in. This content is for you, that word is for you, and it's for you to reclaim whatever you feel it means. Like, if you are a woman, you identify as a woman, you are feminine. Like, and if you identify as a feminine woman, you are feminine. And I definitely feel like this term has definitely been co-opted and misaligned, and I am doing my little thing to reclaim it because I love the word feminine. Like, femininity, I just feel like for so long femininity has had a certain face, a certain look, has been usually reserved for certain people. And I think it's so important to reclaim the word, reclaim what it means, and be able to have, especially in this time that we're living in now, it's such a blessing to be able to identify in the ways that you want to identify. I love femininity, I love feminine essence, and femininity is strong, it's intelligent, it's smart, it's up-leveling yourself, it's being a boss, it's being whatever you want it to be. It can be being laid back, being chill, you know, whatever you describe femininity as. We're not just sticking with the Merriam-Webster Oxford Dictionary version of it, right? It is what you reclaim it to be. So I want to start this series called Feminine Intelligence on my channel, and I feel like I was umming and ahhing for the longest time of what my first episode should be about. What should my first topic be about? And I believe the first topic should be about the importance of reparenting yourself, remothering yourself, and refathering yourself. This is a bit of a heavy topic. I recommend, you know, you do your own research, your own reading, and all sorts of different things about it. But I want this to be a safe space for people, particularly if you're neurospicy, like whatever you identify with. If you just feel like interpersonal relationships are a bit challenging or not, however you feel, I think that it is so important to have these conversations, and so that you know you are not alone. Why I want to talk about this topic, and I thought that this would be the perfect topic to start this series on my channel for, is because I believe, and I wholeheartedly believe, that just because you didn't have the most ideal childhood doesn't mean you cannot redefine yourself and cultivate a better future for yourself and a better present for yourself now. Sometimes, again, we have this tendency to feel like, oh, it's ruined from the start. You know, I didn't have an ideal childhood. I maybe was bullied. I maybe had difficult familial relationships. Maybe I grew up in a place where I was in abject poverty. Whatever it is, maybe I grew up in a culture that I don't resonate with. Maybe I had ideals that were forced upon me that I don't uphold as an adult, and I've always felt that were incongruent with my own personal beliefs. Maybe I felt pressured. Maybe I felt like I didn't have the freedom to really express myself. Maybe I felt like I was caught up in a culture where, you know, you were shamed a lot and you were made to feel like you shouldn't behave a certain way, you shouldn't conduct yourself a certain way, you shouldn't be heard, you should just be seen. Those kinds of ideals can really erode you from the inside. Those kinds of ideals can really just make you feel like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to attempt to be a confident adult. I feel like adulthood has just been thrusted upon me, and I just don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know who I am. I don't know, like how is it that I'm just like, now, okay, I've reached an age of adulthood and I'm just supposed to automatically know what's going on. I'm supposed to automatically be mature. I'm supposed to automatically just understand what I should be doing and how I should be conducting myself as an adult. I feel like you've been robbed, and a lot of people can resonate with that. And I think it is so important to do your shadow work. Reparenting yourself is so important. I recommend this video from New Mind Frame. I'm going to try and link it down below if it still exists, because I haven't been on her channel for such a long time. But New Mind Frame, oh my goodness. Have you just seen somebody who just has the most delicious, amazing energy? Like, she's just so high vibrational. And I remember going down a rabbit hole and usually like researching a lot of her videos, watching a lot of her videos regarding narcissism, and just trying to understand the people who were around me at the time. And I'm not going to delve too deep into that, because again, I want this to be more empowering, a more empowering space. I don't want to talk about like people's personality disorders and so on and so forth. Like, I'm just going to briefly touch upon it. I don't want to go into it, because I feel like at the end of the day, the only thing in life that we can control is ourselves and who is in our orbit. So I think it's very important, if you do identify these kinds of characteristics, maybe not full-blown narcissism, but it could just be narcissistic traits, which a lot of people have. I think it's very important to always be doing an audit of people in your life, and, you know, cutting and Xing wherever you can, wherever is beneficial and comfortable for you. But I remember watching her videos of narcissism, and she had this video talking about, you know, a lot of people can develop CPTSD after dealing with so many challenging individuals in their lives, or dealing with so many challenging dynamics where they've suppressed their inner self so much that they don't even know who they are anymore. And I think a lot of this only becomes more evident when you become older and older. So yeah, I remember watching her video, New Mind Frame, and she has amazing videos about reparenting yourself, remothering yourself, and refathering yourself. If you think about what would be your perfect father figure, what would he be towards you? How would he act towards you? How would he nurture you? How would he take care of you? You have to become that for yourself. And before you think, oh wow, that's just woo woo, it's nonsense. It's possible. You can do this. Like, you have masculine and feminine energies within you. All of us, all human beings on this earth, we both have like that dynamic where we have masculine energy and we have feminine energy. And I think it is very, very, very important for you to take the aspects that you would want in an ideal father and give that to yourself as much as possible. Same thing with remothering yourself. You take those feminine aspects of, you know, nurturing, being caring, you know, self-soothing, all of these things, and you do it and you enact it upon yourself. So for example, if you have had like a really horrible, embarrassing situation, think to yourself, and like, you can rewire your neural pathways to kind of do this like automatically. How would your ideal father figure type talk to you? How would they talk to you? Would they tell you what an idiot you were and how much of a mistake you made and how awful you were and how terrible you are and you're never going to amount to nothing? No, a lot of times that's that negative self-talk loop that's already in our brains, right? We're so used to that, and now we've established those neural pathways in our brain where it just becomes second nature to absolutely berate yourself and like get so down and hard on yourself. But your ideal father figure type, how would he talk to you? Would he tell you, okay, you know what? Accidents happen, mistakes happen. It is literally a part of life. If you are not making mistakes, you are not alive, my love. It's one thing to make mistakes knowingly and willingly and saying, okay, I could have done better, and having that accountability and taking that accountability, but not using accountability as a stick that you're going to whack yourself over the head with. Is that beneficial? No. Is that helpful? No. Would your ideal father figure type talk to you like that? No, right? I feel like your ideal father figure type would soothe you and tell you everything is going to be okay. Yes, have the accountability. Yes, take the responsibility. Yes, make sure, okay, that you are seeing the errors of your ways and seeing where you went wrong. But oftentimes I feel like if you grew up in a situation where you want to do this work of refathering yourself, reparenting yourself, and remothering yourself, oftentimes you have this issue where you are already so self-critical. So it's about turning that down a notch rather than, you know, turning up the heat of your self-criticism or your self-critical talk, because I feel like you've done that enough. You've probably been enough self-critical to last you a lifetime. You've probably criticized yourself enough to last you a whole entire lifetime. Like, you don't need to to add more onto the plate is what I'm trying to say. So think about, okay, how would I reparent myself? If I was a parent now, speaking to yourself as if you've split off and you are now a child, and how would you speak to this innocent, beautiful little child? How would you speak to them? Would you berate them? Would you tell them how rubbish and horrible they are? Of course not. You wouldn't do that, right? And again, about knowing when to decipher when to reparent yourself through the father element and the mother element. So remothering yourself could be, you know, taking yourself out for a really nice spa day, telling yourself, you know what, I'm going to treat you. You're doing so well. You're doing so amazing, fantastic, very well done. Telling yourself, you know what, how beautiful you look, how elegant you are, how fantastic you are, all of these things that you would do as, you know, the mother essence, and what you would have, like if you were mothering something, right? You nurture it, you take care of it, you think ahead, you know, you say to yourself, okay, I want to make sure I get my 10K steps. Let me go to sleep early. Let me make sure that I'm rejuvenated. Let me make sure that I'm eating a diet that's got whole grains, that like is nourishing my body. You wouldn't give your child fast food. You wouldn't give your child processed food, right? You would go and you would like make the effort. I think to myself so much, because I do a lot of natural fiber videos on my TikTok, and I always think to myself like, okay, when it comes to organic cottons and things, we always make sure that our babies are wearing organic cotton, but when it comes to ourselves and our bodies, we're like, okay, yeah, this polyester crap will do. Oh yeah, let me just wear this toxic Lululemon or Aloe yoga set. Like, we just don't even think when it comes to ourselves how we should be treating ourselves, and how we would, like, if you were your child, you wouldn't treat yourself like this. You wouldn't talk to yourself like this. Matter of fact, you do the complete opposite. But how normalized it is in society. And I feel like this is a function of society, especially in this like capitalistic society where, you know, especially women are under attack from every which way in order to, you know, capitalize and benefit and make a profit of our insecurities. Oftentimes insecurities that we've never even thought about unless we lived in this kind of capitalistic society where you're taught to be insecure about everything. You're literally taught to be insecure about your nail buds, like things that you would never even consider. Like if you were like maybe 50 years ago, 100 years ago, like being taught to be insecure about your ankles, being taught to be insecure about your skin tone. It's never ever ending. And if you feed that negative loop, it truly will never end for you, right? So again, I think that this is very important. And the more that you remother yourself and reparent yourself, the more you start to see yourself as somebody of inherent worth and value, because you're so used to devaluing yourself. You devalue yourselves in ways that you don't even realize. Like, you know, there's so many different things that you'll do. There's so many different ways you'll go about things, and you don't realize that you're actually degrading yourself. You're actually making yourself on the back burner. Like, you know, you're not prioritizing yourself, but you deserve to prioritize yourself. Same way parents prioritize their children, you need to prioritize what's best for you, your own growth, your own happiness, your own health, all of the things that parents think about when they think about their children. You deserve that, particularly if your childhood was challenging. But it's even more imperative that you do the shadow work. It's so important. Childhood is often the time in life where people are prioritized, where you are centered. That's why it's particularly sad when people have children and they are not they don't have the ability, or they're not in a position to center their child, or they are emotionally inept, where they think that the child is a function of them. The child is a character in their life. Like, the child is just an NPC at that point. It's like, no, in order to be an effective parent, a good parent, in my opinion, you have to center the child. And I think when you have been robbed of that only short period in your life where you are centered, where you don't have responsibilities, maybe, you know, you grew up in a household where you were basically the de facto second mom, or where, you know, you had an inordinate amount of responsibility at such a young age, it distorts your life plan. It distorts your, like, the way your life should go and the natural progression of your life. So you get to a point where it's like, you feel like it's already been ruined, but it hasn't. You have the opportunity now to do this shadow work. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you're going to feel like an imposter. Yes, you're going to feel like it's cheesy. Yes, you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, like, what am I even doing? Like, the time for my childhood has gone. The time to center myself has gone. Now I'm an adult. I've got real responsibilities. I've got real bills. I don't even have the time to do this. But the thing is, Shalon Lester has a quote that I absolutely love, where she says, the psyche must be heard. If you don't do this very important shadow work, if you don't do this inner work, if you don't heal yourself, your psyche will eventually be hurt, and it can come out in ways that you definitely do not want, right? You could have a mental breakdown. You could like be plunged into depression and you don't know why. You just like, even I feel like a lot of people are operating at this frequency where it's like a low-level depression. Like, it's not a depression that's so violent that you can put your hand and your finger on it and say, okay, I'm actually clinically depressed, right? It's just this humdrum lifestyle where I just don't feel passionate about anything. I just don't, like, I just go home and I doom scroll for hours and hours, and I call this a life. And it's not to say that you shouldn't prioritize your rest, and not to say that, you know, okay, you know, reviewing social media is bad, but what are you passionate about? Like, what brings you joy? What brings you happiness? What is it that you do that is like essentially you? Do you have anything in your life like that? Or have you just felt like, you know what, it's already ruined? It's not ruined. As long as you're breathing, you're living another day, you have the ability to make that day the juiciest and happiest and high vibe day that you've ever lived. Like, go out and be the main character. Like, this is your one life. Like, are you seriously just going to say, you know what, like, it's over? It's not over until it's literally over. Like, you know what I mean? It's never, ever too late. Your childhood does not define you. Where you've come from does not determine where you are going. And we have countless examples of this, of people sometimes who have the worst pasts have the best futures. Claim it for yourself. You deserve it. Like, don't sit yourself out before you've even begun. I know all of this sounds so cliche, but it's true. Like, it's so true. You deserve to have a great life. You can heal yourself. Yes, it's going to be messy. Yes, it's going to take a lot of work. Yes, you're going to feel like an imposter. Yes, sometimes you're going to feel like, oh, okay, like, what's the point of this? Yes, some days are going to be much tougher than others, but it is possible. It's possible. You don't have to live the same year over and over and over and over and over again. Like, this is your one life. People in far dire circumstances than you have managed to completely flip their lives over. You can do it. You can do it. If you are dedicated to your own growth, you can do it. So I hope you guys like this video. I know one thing about me, guys, I can yap and yap and yap and yap and yap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give me some suggestions about what kind of videos you guys would like to see. I definitely want to continue on this feminine intelligence. Like I said, guys, I feel like it's so important that we reclaim the narrative of what it means to be feminine, okay? Because again, I know that the term has been co-opted. I know a lot of times, like, now people have like really bad like synonyms or like really bad you know, like connections with the word feminine. You know, a lot of times like it can be, you know, associated with a certain form of content where, you know, there is a lot of misinformation out there. I don't think all feminine content is bad. I don't think all like divine feminine energy content creators are bad. I actually think a lot of the advice is good, but some of the advice obviously has been co-opted, and, you know, like a lot of clip farming has gone on. So I definitely, I'm sorry, I am not renaming it. I love the term feminine intelligence, and I definitely think it is an interesting video topic. But yeah, like I said, femininity is what you decide it to be. If you identify as a feminine essence being, no matter what body type you're in, if you identify as a feminine essence being, then you're a feminine essence being, and you shouldn't shirk the term femininity. No matter how much it's been co-opted, it's up to us to reclaim the narrative and reclaim the term, and that's what I'm doing my little bit to do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, I will make sure to leave the link down below to Nuve Mindframes videos. I love her videos. Please subscribe to her channel if you can, and I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Mwah.